Good morning. So I haven't posted a video on Facebook for a couple of days. I actually had to spend a whole 24 hours in hospital plus some because I ended up with fluid in my lungs. I don't know. Anyway, but it was more than a notion because you saw me post on Facebook, if you are on Facebook with me, about my son's birthday, and I was not unable to be there because I was in the hospital. So, it's sometimes it can be so stressful. But God, that's all I can tell you. And my husband, he was struggling because it's like in the last 2 weeks I've had to go into the hospital twice. When I was in out of town, I had to go into the hospital because they had to admit me in order to treat me for dialysis because there was no centers available. And then they had to point out that what did they say? My cholesterol was high. Okay, duh. Convenience eating because I can't cook. I haven't been able to cook. I'm just now getting back to cooking. And then in a couple more weeks, probably, I have another surgery yet again. But that's okay. Because after they're done cutting on me, it'll just be more battle wound scars. That's all I can tell you. I don't know. This whole journey has been different. One that requires you to really put your faith and trust in God, which I do anyway. But there are moments where this gets really hard because see, I'm an independent person. I'm used to working. I'm used to being out there and I'm just not able, and it's more than a notion, the cost of everything. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, well, try Medicaid. I get a letter, Medicaid tells me no because for whatever reason. And so I'm gonna have to fight them on that. I tried getting disability, and that has been stressful. I'm having to fight, and trust me, it's been one fight after another. Now, if you know me, you know I am not a quitter, but it's just been stressful. It's been stressful. My medication cost went from $6 to 100 and rising because now, from my last time being in the hospital just recently, um, they want to add more medication onto me. I went from taking 2 pills to taking, I don't know, 7, and still more are being added. I'm getting the new, I have to take Lasix, and then there's another pill they want me to think about taking. So it's stressful. It's stressful. But as I said again, but God. And I trust God with my whole heart. My husband, who is struggling, and this particular time of year is a rough one for him because this is actually counting, I think it'll be 4 years. I gotta think. Yeah, it'll be 4 years. Oh, goodness, time has flown by so quickly. Be 4 years since his son transitioned from this life to be with God. So, and I don't know, he's human, so he worries. He worries all these things of watching me go through. He's worried that he will lose me. And I keep telling him, you have to have trust in God, have faith in God. Then I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. And, just navigating through life the best way you can. Um, mm, you see my beautifulness. When I first started with this thing, I started to cover it because I'm like, I don't want people looking at that. But guess what? I was only supposed to have it for 2 months, and here we are, 5 months later, and we're still besties. So why hide her? She's a part of me, only for a moment. Because if this keeps working good, she goes bye bye. So And she is a pain in my chest because it itches like crazy. But, I've learned to embrace my beautiful scars. I've acquired quite a few of them. So I try to have a positive outlook on all of this. I mean, falling to pieces, who does that help? Surely not me or my blood pressure, which surprisingly, since I started dialysis, is pretty darn good. Go figure. Yeah, because see, I don't need no more added medication for that, because that's enough. And then part of one of the medications I have is gabapentin, because I have nerve damage due to all the cutting. So my thumb, I can't feel portions of it. I can feel it, but then I can't. And when I do feel, what I do feel is sharp pain. So I take the gabapentin to kind of subside that a little bit. And I'm not one for medicine, so I'm supposed to take it 3 times a day. Take it 2, because it makes me very tired, and I'm still a mommy, so can't sleep all day. But yeah, it's more than a notion. I don't know what to tell you. There are days where I sit here like, what can I do? I miss making money. But then I end up back in the hospital, or I don't feel so good during some of my treatments. So, I don't know. Finding that balance. Finding that sense of normalcy. I don't know. One of those things where you have to question, how do you deal with this? So, I don't know.